You are happy with this OceanWise project?
Hello, yes, Maeve Thornberry here. Delighted with the outputs of the OceanWise project. It's taken a little longer than we had planned, obviously, but I feel there were a lot of gaps in terms of the data and the information that was available about EPS and XPS and both of those materials as marine litter. And I feel we've now in some way filled those gaps in terms of knowledge, which in turn means that I think policymakers and people in industry will be able to manage these materials better.
What you personally have done?
So I worked on WP5 and on W5P2 this was about collating all of the data available about how and where EPS and XPS are produced across Europe. We focused on 14 countries. I pulled together a database of all of those producers and tried to just draw a map of how it's produced and where it's produced and then what applications it is used for. And it's probably taught me a lot in terms of how many applications there are for these materials. They're very good at what they do. There's a reason why they're in such widespread use. So my report on 5.2 definitely gives you a lot more detail about where the material is produced and what it is used for.
We have all this in this wall, all these projects.
Yes, it was the great thing about OceanWise is that it's a very broad project. We took a very broad approach to gather as much data as possible. So it wasn't just about where it's made or who uses it. It's about where it's recycled. How can it be a problem? Where can it leak into the marine environment? Are there alternatives? Can you replace it? If you can't replace it, can you do something better with it? So it was very broad, and part of my research involved research not just in Europe, but actually globally. And that was a very interesting aspect to see how other states, other countries are managing these materials.
And now follow up for these ideas, this project.
There are lots of outputs. So our WP8 report, which I also drafted, is a summary of all of the outputs. If anybody has an interest in this area, I'd encourage them to read that. And using that then, drill down into the detail of your specific area. So as a stakeholder, if you're an industry, if you're a recycler, if you're a municipality, there is lots of information there, and you can drill down into the specific aspects of the project that have a particular interest for you. We also have 2 brochures, one for policymakers and one for industry. And these also contain lots of really helpful practical information so that we can take the outputs and really see them put to good use.